Good morning and welcome to your Farm and Home Show. My name is Joanna Coles, and this morning we're visiting with Dr. Ellen Crocker. She's with the University of Kentucky as Extension Forest Health Specialist there. Good morning, Ellen.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm glad you're here because we've been talking about this for a little bit, and it's not actually in Warren County yet that we know of, but that's the emerald ash borer.
Yes, the emerald ash borer, an invasive beetle that's been headed our way for some time. It's moved south to Kentucky, and it's already causing widespread death of trees in northern, central, and eastern Kentucky, and it's been moving its way west towards this area. Now, what you want to look for are trees that, they look like there's something wrong with them, that have thin canopies, maybe dead branches. Those are typically the first signs of emerald ash borer. Now, if you look up close, you might be able to see some D-shaped holes in the trunk. That's where those adult beetles would be chewing their way out, because how the emerald ash borer kills trees is that the larvae of the beetles are tunneling just under the surface of the trunk, basically cutting off the circulation of that tree, almost strangling it. So you might see those D-shaped holes. You might, if you some of the bark chips off, might see these really squiggly serpentine galleries, tunnels just under the bark. But typically by the time you see those things, the tree is already well on its way to dying from the emerald ash borer.
And Ellen, is there anything that we can do if we have a load of ash trees, maybe around our house or in our woodlands? Is there any preventatives that we can do to protect our ash trees?
Definitely. There are insecticide options. You can treat your trees to prevent them from being infested by the emerald ash borer. I'd say your options for what to do if you don't have emerald ash borer yet and you're trying to plan for its arrival, think about, how many ash trees do you have? Are these trees in your landscape or trees in your wood? Because there are going to be different strategies for how to deal with it depending. Ash makes up about 4% of the trees in Kentucky, so not a ton. So for woodland owners, my first tip would be to see how much ash you have, and maybe consider working with a forester for a harvest to help offset some of those costs if you have a lot of ash, making sure you've got other species that you want to see for after the emerald ash borer. If you're just thinking about trees in your yard or kind of in the landscape setting, a couple things would be, yes, you can treat those trees with an insecticide to protect them. And if you don't want to do that, you will be losing those trees from emerald ash borer. Definitely don't want to introduce it. It will move on its own, but we don't want to give it a lift. So one of the most important things would be not moving firewood, not moving contaminated wood that's got that insect in it. Ash makes great firewood, and we've got a lot of dead ash around. So I know people are using it for that, but you really don't want to spread it long distances, because that's a good way to move it to a new area. It's not the same across the board, but white and green ash, very rapidly killed by emerald ash borer.
And how would people know about the spread? Is there a website or resources available?
There is. The Kentucky Division of Forestry maintains a map of where in the state emerald ash borer has been detected. You can check that out and get an idea of where it is right now.
Okay, and so if you feel like if you see the D-shaped holes or you see your ash is declining, it would be important to get that confirmed through the local extension office or through a forester so that we can kind of know where this is.
Definitely. That's important for letting people know when do they need to start treating their trees with insecticide if they want to protect them, and when to start taking some action. Even if you've got woods with a lot of ash in it, you really don't want to let that go for too long before harvesting it, because as soon as the emerald ash borer moves in, those trees, the value of that wood really decreases. So knowing when emerald ash borer arrives somewhere can be important for both the landscape and the woodland setting. Yeah, so we've got our weekly webcast program, From the Woods Today, and you can check it out online, fromthewoodstoday.com. Every week we're going to have different presenters talking about kind of use you can use in your woods, everything from tree identification to forest health to wildlife damage to activities that you can do with youth. So be sure to check us out.
All right. Well, Ellen, certainly appreciate you visiting with us today. And if you have any questions about any of the topics we talked about today, make sure to contact your local extension office. Thanks for watching and have a great day.